Every success story you admire began in silence. Long before recognition, money, or confidence appeared, there was uncertainty. There was doubt. There was a moment when nothing seemed to work, where effort felt invisible, and where giving up felt easier than continuing. This audiobook is for those moments. It is for the person standing at zero, wondering if success is even possible. From zero to success is not about shortcuts or overnight miracles. It is about the inner journey that transforms ordinary people into disciplined, resilient, confident individuals who build extraordinary lives. Success does not begin with resources. It begins with belief. It does not start when conditions are perfect. It starts when you decide to move forward despite imperfection. Many people assume that successful individuals were always confident, talented, or supported. In reality, most of them began confused, underprepared, and unsure. What separated them was not luck but persistence, not privilege but mindset, not comfort but courage. This audiobook will walk you through that transformation. It will take you from the emotional weight of starting with nothing to the clarity, discipline, and inner strength required to build something meaningful. You will learn how struggle shapes strength, how failure refines direction, and how consistency outperforms talent. As you listen, remember this: you are not behind. You are not late. You are not incapable. You are simply at the beginning. And every beginning, no matter how small or difficult, carries the potential for success. This is not just a story to listen to. It is a mindset to adopt, a journey to commit to, a reminder that zero is not the end. It is the foundation. Let us begin. Chapter 1. Embracing Zero. Zero is uncomfortable. It feels empty, uncertain, and often humiliating. It is the phase of life most people want to escape as quickly as possible. Yet zero is where every meaningful journey begins. Before confidence, there is confusion. Before success, there is struggle. Before progress, there is acceptance of where you are. Many people delay their growth because they refuse to accept their starting point. They compare themselves to those far ahead and feel discouraged. They look at success and assume they are already too late. This resistance creates frustration. But growth does not begin with comparison. It begins with honesty. Embracing zero does not mean accepting defeat. It means accepting reality without judgment. It means acknowledging your current skills, resources, mindset, and environment as they are, not as you wish them to be. This clarity removes illusion and replaces it with direction. At zero, there's often fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of wasting time. These fears feel overwhelming because you have little evidence to prove yourself capable. But zero also carries something powerful: freedom. When you have nothing to lose, you gain the ability to experiment, learn, and grow without the pressure of maintaining an image. Most people underestimate the value of being unknown. They believe visibility equals progress. In truth, invisibility allows development. Zero gives you the space to build skills quietly, make mistakes privately, and strengthen yourself internally before the world begins to notice. Starting from zero also exposes limiting beliefs. Thoughts like "I'm not smart enough," "I don't have connections," or "others are more talented than me" often surface during this stage. These thoughts are not facts. They are mental habits formed through fear and comparison. Recognizing them is the first step toward replacing them. Progress from zero is rarely dramatic. It is slow and repetitive. It involves showing up when motivation fades and continuing when results are invisible. This is where most people quit, not because they are incapable, but because they underestimate the time required for growth. Zero teaches patience. It forces you to focus on process rather than outcome. When success feels distant, you learn to value effort, consistency, and improvement. These qualities later become the foundation of success itself. Another challenge of zero is loneliness. When you begin a new journey, not everyone understands your vision. Some may doubt you. Others may discourage you, projecting their own fears onto your goals. Learning to move forward without external validation is a critical skill developed at this stage. At zero, you learn self-reliance. You stop waiting for permission. You stop seeking approval. You begin listening to your inner voice. This independence strengthens confidence over time. 0 also teaches humility. It reminds you that growth requires learning. That mastery comes from repetition. That progress is earned, not given. This humility later protects you from arrogance and complacency. One of the most powerful shifts at 0 is redefining success. Instead of measuring success by outcomes, you begin measuring it by effort. Did you show up today? Did you learn something new? Did you take one step forward? These small victories build momentum. Momentum is not created by massive action. It is created by consistent action. One disciplined step repeated daily becomes unstoppable over time. 0 is where this discipline is formed. Many people romanticize success but ignore the identity transformation required to reach it. 0 forces you to confront who you are and who you must become. This discomfort is necessary. Growth demands change, and change begins with awareness. The key to moving forward from 0 is commitment. Not emotional commitment fueled by motivation, but quiet commitment fueled by discipline. Motivation fluctuates. Discipline endures. At 0, distractions are tempting. Quick fixes, shortcuts, and comparisons can derail focus. Learning to stay present and committed to your path is a skill developed through intention. 0 is also where resilience is built. Every small failure teaches adjustment. Every setback strengthens emotional endurance. Over time, challenges stop feeling personal and start feeling instructional. The greatest danger at 0 is not failure. It is stagnation. Staying still out of fear keeps you trapped. Taking imperfect action, even when unsure, creates movement. 0 does not define you. It refines you. It strips away illusion and reveals potential. It teaches you that growth is not about where you start, but about how you continue. As you embrace 0, you begin to realize something important. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from experience, awareness, and desire. These are powerful assets. Every successful individual once stood where you stand now. Uncertain, hopeful, afraid, determined. The difference is that they chose to move forward anyway. 0 is not a label. It is a phase. And like all phases, it is temporary for those who persist. Embrace where you are. Respect the process. Trust the journey. This is how success begins. Chapter 2. The Battle with Self-Doubt. When you begin from 0, the loudest resistance does not come from the outside world. It comes from within. Self-doubt becomes your constant companion, whispering questions that slowly drain confidence. Am I good enough? Am I capable? What if I fail? What if I never make it? These thoughts feel real, convincing, and personal, yet they are not truth. They are fear disguised as logic. Self-doubt often appears when you step into unfamiliar territory. The mind is designed to protect you from uncertainty, not to push you toward growth. When you attempt something new, your brain interprets it as risk and responds with hesitation. This response is natural, but it becomes dangerous when it controls your actions. Many people mistake self-doubt for intuition. They believe their fear is a sign to stop. In reality, self-doubt is often a sign that you are expanding beyond your comfort zone. Growth feels unsafe before it feels empowering. At 0, you have little evidence to support belief in yourself. You haven't yet accumulated wins or results. This lack of proof allows doubt to dominate. But confidence is not built before action. It is built through action. Waiting to feel confident before moving forward keeps you trapped. Self-doubt feeds on comparison. You look at people who are further ahead and assume they are different from you. More talented, more confident, more deserving. What you do not see are their early struggles, failures, and doubts. Comparison distorts reality and robs you of focus. Another source of self-doubt is past failure. Mistakes linger in memory, replaying themselves whenever you attempt something new. The mind uses these memories as warnings, even when they are no longer relevant. Growth requires learning to separate past experiences from present potential. Doubt also thrives in silence. When goals remain unspoken, thoughts echo unchecked. This internal dialogue grows louder when not challenged. Learning to question your doubts instead of obeying them is a crucial skill on the journey to success. One of the most powerful shifts occurs when you realize that doubt does not disappear with success. Even highly successful individuals experience it. The difference is that they no longer allow doubt to decide their actions. They move forward despite uncertainty. At zero, doubt often convinces you to wait, to prepare more, to learn more, to delay until the right time. While preparation has value, endless preparation becomes procrastination. Action is the only antidote to doubt. Each small action weakens self-doubt. Completing tasks, even imperfectly, creates evidence of capability. This evidence slowly replaces fear with trust. Confidence is accumulated through repetition, not motivation. Self-doubt also challenges identity. When you start from nothing, it is easy to define yourself by your current situation. Lack of money becomes lack of worth. Lack of progress becomes lack of ability. These associations are false. Circumstances do not define potential. Learning to separate who you are from where you are is essential. You are not your bank balance. You are not your current skill level. You are not your past mistakes. You are a person in progress. Another challenge of self-doubt is external influence. Well-meaning friends or family may question your choices. Their doubts often reflect concern or fear, but they can reinforce your own uncertainty. Learning to listen selectively protects your vision. Belief does not require certainty. It requires commitment. You do not need to know exactly how success will unfold. You need to know that you will continue regardless of obstacles. One powerful practice is shifting focus from outcome to effort. Instead of asking whether you will succeed, ask whether you will show up today. This removes pressure and restores control. Self-doubt loses strength when purpose becomes clear. When you understand why you are pursuing change, persistence increases. Purpose anchors you and confidence fluctuates. Another important realization is that doubt often targets things that matter most. You rarely doubt goals you do not care about. The presence of doubt can be evidence that your goal is meaningful. Growth requires emotional resilience. Accepting doubt without letting it dominate is part of maturity. You do not fight doubt aggressively. You acknowledge it and move forward anyway. Over time, repeated action reshapes identity. You begin seeing yourself as someone who follows through, who persists, who adapts. This new identity gradually replaces self-doubt with self-trust. The goal is not to eliminate doubt. The goal is to reduce its influence. When doubt becomes background noise instead of a controlling voice, progress accelerates. From zero, self-doubt feels heavy because everything is new. But each step forward lightens the weight. Each effort strengthens belief. You are not broken because you doubt yourself. You are human. What matters is whether you allow doubt to stop you or shape you. Those who succeed are not those who never doubted. They are those who refuse to quit because of doubt. As you continue this journey, remember this truth. Doubt is a feeling. It is not a command. You can feel uncertain and still move forward. This is how confidence is built. This is how belief is earned. And this is how zero begins to transform into progress. Chapter 3. Discipline, Consistency, and the Power of Momentum. Talent may open doors, but discipline decides how far you go. When starting from zero, discipline becomes your greatest advantage. You may lack resources, connections, or experience, but discipline is available to anyone willing to practice it. It is not glamorous, and it rarely feels exciting, but it is the quiet force that transforms effort into progress. Many people wait for motivation before taking action. They believe they must feel inspired to begin. This belief keeps them stuck. Motivation is emotional and unpredictable. Discipline is deliberate and reliable. Those who rise from zero learn to act regardless of mood. Discipline begins with structure. When life feels uncertain, structure provides stability. Simple routines, repeated daily, create a sense of control. Showing up at the same time, working on the same goals, and committing to small actions builds reliability within yourself. Consistency is where discipline reveals its power. Doing something once creates effort. Doing it repeatedly creates identity. Over time, consistency reshapes self-image. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. Momentum is a natural result of consistent effort. It begins quietly, often unnoticed. Small actions accumulate. Confidence increases. Resistance decreases. What once felt difficult becomes familiar. Momentum carries you forward when motivation fades. At zero, progress feels slow because expectations are high. People often underestimate how long growth takes and overestimate how fast success should arrive. Discipline corrects this misunderstanding. It shifts focus from speed to direction. Building momentum requires patience. Early stages involve repetition without visible reward. This is where most people quit. Not because they are incapable, but because they expect results too soon. Discipline teaches you to trust the process. Another challenge is distraction. When progress is slow, distractions become tempting. Social media, comparison, and entertainment offer escape from discomfort. Discipline involves choosing long-term growth over short-term relief. Consistency also creates emotional stability. When actions become routine, decisions require less energy. You stop negotiating with yourself daily. This reduces stress and increases focus. One of the most powerful outcomes of discipline is self-trust. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, confidence grows. Each time you break one, doubt increases. Discipline strengthens the relationship you have with yourself. Momentum does not mean constant upward movement. There will be days when progress feels minimal. Discipline keeps you moving during these times. Momentum is maintained by showing up even when effort feels heavy. Another important aspect is adaptability. Discipline does not mean rigidity. It means commitment to progress, even when methods need adjustment. Learning to adapt without quitting preserves momentum. From zero, success is built through boring repetition. This reality often surprises people. Growth is not dramatic most days. It is steady. It is quiet. It is earned. Discipline also teaches delayed gratification. You learn to sacrifice comfort now for freedom later. This skill becomes essential as responsibilities increase. Over time, momentum changes how challenges feel. What once seemed overwhelming becomes manageable. Confidence grows through familiarity. Momentum is fragile in the beginning. Missing one day can feel harmless, but repeated inconsistency slows progress. Discipline protects momentum by maintaining rhythm. Eventually, momentum begins to work in your favor. Opportunities increase. Skills sharpen. Progress accelerates. What began as effort becomes flow. The transformation from zero to success is not driven by intensity, but by consistency. Small actions done daily outperform occasional bursts of effort. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect. It is choosing your future over your comfort. As momentum builds, belief strengthens. You begin trusting that progress is inevitable if you continue. This is the quiet turning point. When effort becomes habit. When habit becomes identity. When identity becomes success. This is how momentum is born. This is how zero begins to move forward. Chapter 4. Failure, Resilience, and the Art of Rising Again. Failure is often misunderstood. Many see it as a final verdict, a sign of inadequacy, or proof that they were never meant to succeed. But failure is not an ending. It is information. It is feedback. It is one of the most powerful teachers on the journey from zero to success. When you begin with nothing, failure feels personal. Each mistake seems to confirm your deepest fears. You question your abilities, your decisions, and your worth. This emotional response is natural, but it becomes harmful when failure is internalized as identity instead of experience. Resilience is the skill that transforms failure into progress. It is not the absence of pain or disappointment. It is the ability to continue despite them. Resilience is built through repetition, not theory. Each time you recover from a setback, you strengthen this internal muscle. Many people avoid failure by avoiding action. They wait, plan, and prepare endlessly, believing that perfection will protect them. In reality, perfection delays growth. Failure is unavoidable for anyone who attempts something meaningful. Failure exposes gaps in skill, strategy, or mindset. These gaps are not weaknesses. They are opportunities for refinement. Those who succeed learn to examine failure objectively, extracting lessons instead of emotion. One of the most damaging beliefs is that failure means you are behind. In truth, failure often means you are ahead of those who never tried. Experience, even painful experience, creates wisdom that cannot be taught. Resilience requires emotional regulation. When setbacks occur, emotions intensify. Frustration, anger, and disappointment cloud judgment. Learning to pause, reflect, and respond instead of react preserves clarity. Failure also challenges ego. It humbles you. It reminds you that mastery requires patience. This humility is essential for long-term growth. Without it, success becomes fragile. From zero, failure feels heavier because stakes feel higher. Every attempt feels significant. Learning to normalize failure reduces its power. It becomes part of the process rather than a disruption. Resilient individuals do not deny disappointment. They feel it fully but do not dwell in it. They allow emotions to pass and return focus to action. This emotional flexibility is a strength developed over time. Another important lesson of failure is adaptability. When something does not work, persistence alone is not enough. Adjustment is required. Success favors those who can change approach without abandoning purpose. Failure also reveals commitment. When things go wrong, excuses become tempting. Resilience is choosing responsibility over blame. It is asking what you can improve instead of who is at fault. Each setback strengthens mental endurance. What once felt unbearable becomes manageable. Over time, challenges lose their emotional charge. Failure teaches perspective. What seems devastating today often becomes insignificant in hindsight. This awareness reduces fear and increases courage. One of the most important shifts is separating outcome from effort. You can do everything right and still fail. This does not negate the value of effort. It refines direction. Resilience is not built during success. It is built during struggle. Each recovery strengthens confidence in your ability to handle adversity. Those who succeed are not those who avoid failure, but those who recover faster. Speed of recovery matters more than frequency of failure. From zero, resilience becomes your armor. It protects you from discouragement and empowers you to continue. Failure is not proof that you should quit. It is proof that you are in the process. As you rise again and again, something changes. Fear loses control. Confidence becomes grounded in experience rather than hope. This is how failure transforms into strength. This is how resilience is forged. This is how zero becomes unstoppable. Chapter 5. Learning, Skill, and the Commitment to Growth. Success is not built on motivation alone. It is built on competence. When you start from zero, learning becomes your most valuable investment. Skills create opportunity. Knowledge creates leverage. Growth begins the moment you decide to improve yourself intentionally. Many people underestimate the importance of learning because progress feels slow at first. Skills take time to develop. Early stages involve confusion and repetition. This discomfort discourages those who expect quick mastery. Those who succeed learn to respect the learning curve. Learning requires humility. It demands that you admit what you do not know. This admission is not weakness. It is clarity. From zero, clarity accelerates growth. Skill building is not about consuming information endlessly. It is about applying knowledge consistently. Understanding without action creates illusion of progress. True learning occurs through practice. Growth also requires focus. Trying to learn everything at once scatters energy. Successful individuals identify core skills aligned with their goals and commit to mastering them over time. Learning reshapes identity. Each new skill strengthens confidence. You begin trusting your ability to adapt, solve problems, and create value. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Each error provides feedback. Learning to detach emotion from mistakes accelerates improvement. Skill building also teaches patience. Mastery is built through repetition, not talent. Those who persist outperform those who rely on natural ability. Learning environments matter. Surroundings influence growth. Seeking mentors, resources, and communities aligned with your goals accelerates progress. Growth is cumulative. Small improvements compound over time. What feels insignificant today becomes transformative later. From zero, learning creates independence. You rely less on external validation and more on internal competence. Learning never ends. Success requires continuous adaptation. Skills that serve you today may need refinement tomorrow. Growth also requires unlearning. Limiting beliefs and outdated habits must be replaced. This process requires awareness and courage. Skill building transforms effort into value. Value attracts opportunity. Opportunity accelerates success. Those who commit to learning remain relevant. Those who resist change stagnate. From zero, growth becomes a lifestyle. Curiosity replaces fear. Progress replaces doubt. This is how learning builds confidence. This is how skill creates momentum. This is how zero becomes capable. Chapter 6. Focus, Environment, and Protecting Your Vision. When you start from zero, focus becomes your most valuable currency. You do not yet have abundance of time, money, or support. So where you place your attention determines how fast you grow. Success rarely comes from doing many things at once. It comes from doing the right things consistently. Distraction is one of the greatest enemies of progress. It does not announce itself as danger. It arrives quietly, disguised as entertainment, comfort, or urgency. Hours disappear without movement. Days pass without progress. Focus requires awareness before discipline. From zero, it is tempting to chase every opportunity. You want results quickly. You want proof that you are moving forward. But scattered effort creates shallow progress. Depth creates momentum. Learning to commit to fewer priorities increases impact. Focus also involves clarity. When goals are vague, effort becomes inconsistent. Defining what success means to you provides direction. Clear goals simplify decisions. They reduce mental noise and conserve energy. Your environment plays a powerful role in shaping behavior. Surroundings influence habits more than motivation. When your environment supports focus, discipline becomes easier. When it encourages distraction, progress becomes exhausting. Environment includes physical space, digital space, and social space. Clutter creates mental fatigue. Noise fragments attention. Negative influences drain motivation. Creating supportive surroundings protects your vision. From zero, you may not control every aspect of your environment, but you can control boundaries. Limiting distractions, scheduling focused time, and choosing influences intentionally strengthens concentration. Focus also requires learning to say no. Every yes to distraction is a no to progress. Protecting your time is an act of self-respect. Those who succeed learn to prioritize long-term goals over short-term pleasure. Another challenge is information overload. Endless content creates confusion. Learning to filter information prevents overwhelm. Quality matters more than quantity. Focus strengthens with practice. Initially, attention wanders easily. With repetition, concentration improves. Training focus is similar to training a muscle. Consistency matters more than intensity. Protecting your vision also means guarding your mindset. Negative voices, even well-meaning ones, can weaken belief. Not everyone will understand your goals. Seeking validation from the wrong sources creates doubt. Vision requires patience. Progress may be invisible for long periods. Focus helps you stay committed when results are delayed. From zero, focus creates momentum by reducing decision fatigue. Clear priorities simplify action. Distraction thrives on emotion. Boredom, frustration, and anxiety often lead to avoidance. Recognizing emotional triggers allows conscious response instead of reaction. Focus also requires rest. Mental fatigue reduces efficiency. Sustainable progress balances effort with recovery. Your vision evolves as you grow. Focus does not mean rigidity. It means commitment to direction while adapting methods. Over time, focus transforms effort into mastery. Mastery creates confidence. Confidence fuels persistence. Those who succeed protect their attention fiercely. They understand that focus shapes reality. From zero, learning to focus is learning to value yourself. This is how clarity is built. This is how distractions lose power. This is how vision turns into success. Chapter 7. belief, identity, and becoming the person success requires. Every external achievement begins as an internal shift. Long before success becomes visible, something changes within. Belief is not just optimism or positive thinking. It is the quiet decision to trust yourself enough to keep moving forward, even when results are uncertain. From zero, belief becomes the bridge between effort and outcome. Many people attempt to change their circumstances without changing their identity. They try new habits, strategies, or goals, but internally they still see themselves as someone who struggles, fails, or falls short. This internal contradiction creates resistance. Lasting success requires identity alignment. Identity is shaped by repeated actions and internal dialogue. The way you speak to yourself, the standards you hold, and the behaviors you repeat all reinforce who you believe you are. From zero, redefining identity is a gradual but intentional process. Belief grows through evidence. Each small action taken despite fear becomes proof of capability. Over time, this evidence reshapes self-perception. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes and start seeing yourself as someone who acts. The shift from trying to becoming is subtle but powerful. Trying implies uncertainty. Becoming implies commitment. When identity changes, behavior follows naturally. Many people wait for confidence before acting. In reality, confidence is built through action. Acting first rewires belief. This reversal surprises many, but it is essential for growth. Belief also involves resilience. It is tested during setbacks. True belief is not fragile optimism. It is grounded persistence. It allows you to acknowledge difficulty without surrendering direction. Identity change requires letting go of old labels. Labels formed through past failure, criticism, or comparison lose relevance as you grow. Releasing them creates space for new self-definition. From zero, belief often feels borrowed at first. You believe because others have succeeded. Over time, belief becomes personal as experience accumulates. Identity is reinforced by environment. Surrounding yourself with growth-oriented influences accelerates transformation. Exposure to new standards expands perception of what is possible. Belief also affects decision-making. When you see yourself as capable, you choose differently. You take responsibility. You pursue challenges. You persist longer. One of the most important shifts is seeing obstacles as part of the process rather than signs of inadequacy. This perspective reduces emotional resistance. Identity is not changed overnight. It evolves through consistency. Each disciplined action strengthens the new self-image. As belief stabilizes, fear loses dominance. It no longer controls decisions. It becomes a signal rather than a barrier. From zero, belief fuels momentum. It transforms effort into confidence and confidence into persistence. This is how identity reshapes destiny. This is how belief turns struggle into growth. This is how zero becomes success. Chapter 8. Opportunity, patience, and trusting the long journey. From the outside, success often looks sudden. A breakthrough appears overnight. Recognition arrives unexpectedly. Opportunities seem to fall into place. But what is rarely seen is the long season of preparation that made those moments possible. From zero, patience becomes one of the most difficult yet powerful virtues to develop. Opportunity does not arrive according to our preferred timeline. It arrives when preparation meets timing. Many people miss opportunities not because they are unlucky, but because they are not ready. Readiness is built quietly, through effort that feels invisible. Patience is often misunderstood as passivity. In truth, patience is active endurance. It is continuing to work when results are delayed. It is maintaining standards when no one is watching. It is trusting that effort compounds even when progress feels slow. From zero, impatience creates pressure. You want proof that your sacrifices matter. You want reassurance that you are on the right path. When reassurance does not arrive, doubt creeps in. Patience allows you to continue without immediate validation. Opportunity favors those who remain consistent during quiet periods. These periods refine skill, discipline, and clarity. They prepare you to recognize opportunity when it appears. Many people expect opportunity to appear as a clear invitation. More often, it arrives disguised as responsibility, challenge, or risk. Those who grow learn to say yes before certainty. Trusting the journey does not mean ignoring reality. It means believing that setbacks are part of progress, not detours from it. This perspective reduces anxiety and increases resilience. Patience also protects against premature decisions. Rushing often leads to shortcuts that compromise integrity. Sustainable success requires alignment between effort and values. From zero, patience strengthens emotional maturity. You learn to tolerate discomfort without escaping. This tolerance builds mental endurance. Opportunity expands with competence. The more capable you become, the more doors open. Skill attracts chance. Another important lesson is timing. Some opportunities arrive too early and fail. Others arrive later and succeed. Understanding this reduces frustration. Trust is built through reflection. Looking back reveals patterns of growth that were invisible in the moment. This awareness reinforces belief. From zero, patience transforms waiting into preparation. This is how opportunity is earned. This is how trust is built. This is how the long journey leads to success. Chapter 9. Money, Value, and the Mindset of Sustainable Success. For many people starting from zero, money represents more than currency. It represents freedom, security, dignity, and choice. Yet money is also one of the most emotionally charged aspects of success. Limiting beliefs, fear, and misunderstanding often shape financial outcomes long before income ever changes. The journey from zero to success requires a shift in how money is viewed. Money is not the goal. It is a result. It flows toward value. Those who understand this principle build wealth sustainably. Those who chase money directly often feel frustrated and stuck. From zero, it is easy to see money as something scarce and difficult to obtain. This perception creates anxiety and desperation. Decisions made from desperation often lead to shortcuts, compromises, and burnout. A healthy financial mindset replaces urgency with strategy. Value creation is the foundation of financial growth. The more problems you can solve, the more value you can offer. Skills, knowledge, and service become assets that generate income over time. Wealth is not taken. It is earned through contribution. Many people believe money requires luck or privilege. While circumstances vary, mindset determines trajectory. Those who succeed financially focus on increasing their usefulness. They ask how they can improve, adapt, and serve better. From zero, financial progress often begins slowly. Small earnings feel insignificant, but these early stages teach discipline, budgeting, and appreciation. Learning to manage small amounts prepares you for larger responsibility. Another important shift is moving from consumption to creation. Spending without intention keeps you dependent. Creating value builds independence. This shift changes financial identity. Money also amplifies habits. Poor financial habits become more damaging as income grows. Strong habits create stability. Learning discipline early protects future success. Financial growth requires patience. Sustainable income compounds over time. Short-term thinking leads to unstable results. Long-term thinking creates security. Fear around money often comes from uncertainty. Education reduces fear. Learning basic financial principles increases confidence and control. From zero, money becomes a teacher. It reveals priorities, discipline, and values. How you earn and spend reflects who you are becoming. True financial success aligns with purpose. When income supports meaningful goals, motivation increases. Money becomes a tool rather than a burden. Those who succeed financially respect money without worshiping it. They understand its role without allowing it to define their worth. From zero, building wealth is a mindset shift before it is a financial shift. This is how value creates income. This is how money supports growth. This is how success becomes sustainable. Chapter 10. Fulfillment, Legacy, and Living Your Success. Success is often imagined as a destination, a moment where struggle ends and satisfaction begins. But those who reach it discover something unexpected. Success is not an arrival. It is a responsibility. It is not defined only by what you achieve, but by how you live after achieving it. From zero to success, the final transformation is not external. It is internal. Fulfillment comes when success aligns with meaning. Money, recognition, and achievement provide comfort and opportunity, but they do not guarantee peace. True fulfillment is created when your success reflects your values, supports your growth, and contributes beyond yourself. From zero, the journey required sacrifice. Time was invested. Comfort was delayed. Discipline was practiced when no one was watching. These sacrifices shape character. That character determines how success is experienced. Many people chase success to escape pain. They believe achievement will heal insecurity or prove worth. While success can create confidence, fulfillment requires self-acceptance. The journey teaches you that worth was never missing. Legacy begins with impact. It is not about fame or wealth alone. It is about influence. How you treat others. What you contribute. What you inspire. Legacy is built through consistent integrity. From zero, perspective changes over time. What once felt impossible becomes familiar. Gratitude becomes essential. Remembering where you began keeps success grounded. Fulfillment also comes from growth. Stagnation creates emptiness. Continued learning, challenge, and purpose keeps success alive. Another important realization is balance. Success without health, relationships, or peace feels hollow. Sustainable success honors the whole life, not just achievement. From zero, you learned resilience. From success, you learn responsibility. Your actions influence others. Your story becomes proof of possibility. Living success means sharing wisdom without ego, guiding without controlling, inspiring without comparison. Legacy is not built at the end of life. It is built daily through intention. Success also tests humility. Remembering struggle protects compassion. Compassion strengthens leadership. From zero to success, the final lesson is this. Achievement is not the goal. Becoming is the goal. You are not defined by where you started or what you achieved. You are defined by who you became along the way. This is the true success. This is the legacy. This is the journey complete.